So today's video is a big deal for me. If you've noticed, I've taken off all the old vinyl from the C8 Corvette, and the main reason for that is today's video, we're gonna be changing the color on the New Horizon C8. That's right, it's gonna be New Horizon 2.0 with a brand new color, bright. It's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to share it with you guys. So let's get into that in this video. So alrighty guys, so like I said, I am going to be changing the color up on the C8 Corvette. And I'm gonna tell you what color it is in a few moments, but first I wanna kind of go over the reasons why I'm deciding to do this after I've had the car for about two and a half years. Actually, the more I think about it, it's March. It's now 3 years old for me. I've had this car for 3 years. So I think it's kind of due for a change and kind of just like spice things up with the C8. I love this car, and it was one of those things I've been wanting to do for a little while and just haven't said anything. So that's kind of one of the big reasons why I decided to go on and do that. And then the second reason is also just as important. Eventually I'm going to trade this car up for either a Z06 or ZR1. And with that being said, all the new colors that GM offers, I think they're really nice. They just don't excite me as much. And so I'm looking at this as an opportunity to practice on this car in regards to doing vinyl work and doing a full wrap by myself, just so I could get a feel for it and know how to do it really well come when the Z06 or the ZR1 come along, and I'm gonna wrap it there. And it'll probably be close to this color since I love it so much, but with a little bit of a twist, maybe like a satin finish kind of deal. And you'll understand where I'm coming from in regards to the satin when you see the color for the wrap I'm gonna do on this car. It's gonna be really insane. So that's honestly my thought process in regards to why I'm gonna wrap this car and everything. But enough of me yammering about why I'm gonna be doing a wrap. Let me show you what color I'm gonna be working with here, guys. So check this out. If I can get this camera to work, kind of here. So, okay, so here is the box that it is in. It comes from kpmf, that's the manufacturer. I did order it from a third party, which is Metro Restyling, which is a distributor of the actual wrap and stuff. So without further ado, check this out. So hold on, let me see if I can get the wrap out of here. So this is the color here, and what color this is called Dynamic Lime in the matte finish, and it comes from kpmf. Now I do have a sample of this that's already kind of cut out, because that showing you in the garage, it does not do justice on how nice this color looks, especially out in the light. I think that's what's going to give you a little bit of a better idea of it. I might throw in a couple of still shots kind of showing you on other different cars what it looks like. It's a satin kind of like, it's basically a satin matte finish, but it has a little bit of metallic flakes there, a little bit of metallic yellow in there, along with this very nice bright green. And I think that in itself is going to look amazing on the car, and I am so excited. Every single person that I've shown this in person has said that that looks amazing, and they are totally on board. I know it's probably not going to be everybody's favorite, but honestly, I'm just excited to put this on mine. And it's going to be a first-time experience for me as well, trying to wrap the whole car in this kind of color. Now, I will caveat, this video is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be more of just me kind of doing it. I'm not going to make this into like a how-to, because I'm not a professional. This is going to be the first time I ever do this, and I'm going to be learning as I go, probably cursing as I'm going, and that's not going to be good on camera either. But I wanted to make sure, but I do want to share how it looks in regards to the process. And overall, I did quite a bit of research beforehand, trying to make sure I understand proper technique on how to lay down proper preparation. I've already started working on the preparation for the C8, taking off different things like different trim panels. I'm going to be taking off the interior door panel so I can take off the boomerang sections as well. So it's going to be a lot of prep work, a lot of work to try to get this done, but I wanted to get it done right. And so it's going to, my focus right now initially is going to be to wrap the whole entire outside of the car, and then take another weekend to work on doing like the insides of the door and like doing the engine bay, because all of that's gonna be done. It's all in orange. I'm gonna make sure that it's done properly and, you know, looks good. So I'm giving myself 2 days. I'm giving myself Friday and Saturday to do this. And then I'm giving myself Sunday as a backup day if I don't get it done in time. I'm pretty sure I am drastically underestimating how much time this is gonna take me, but you know what, that's the kind of fun about doing this stuff. So right now I'm really excited to start this. I guarantee my attitude is probably gonna start slowly changing as I progress and get through this, but it's gonna be fun overall to do. And I'm a little nervous because this is a big job for me to do. I've never done anything like this before. So in any case, let's get started and let's see how far we get. guys, so it is day one of me doing this vinyl, and I'm definitely nowhere near where I thought I was going to be for this. So I got the front hood done and a little bit of the backside and the top piece, and I did also do the roof also with that. Now, this is definitely a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be, but that's why I gave myself an extra day. I am definitely going to need to take that. So at least a couple of growing pains in regards to learning how to do this, and maybe a couple swear words. That front hood was the most difficult piece for me to ever try to do. I mean, it was just a large piece, at least personally for me, that I kept on trying to work with, kept on getting wrinkles. But the actual material that I'm using, the kpmf material, or manufacturer from kpmf, is really, really good. It's actually really forgiving. It's just I am very amateur at this. And never did I ever think that when you would take a car to a wrapper, like they're like, there's a reason why they're doing it as a profession. I mean, it is a lot of work, and I definitely respect them for it, for sure. So another thing that is now I'm slowly starting to learn is trying to get the edges to lay down just right. Now, it's not as big of a deal if it's like a free edge, like if you have it on the side of the body here, or if you have it on the hood. That's actually not too bad. It's when you're trying to do the seals, the bodywork going into a seal, that I'm personally running into a lot of issues. So it is not going to be perfect work, but that's the point of why I'm doing this. This is honestly practice for me, so that the next time I can do a much better job. I mean, it's not bad, but it is definitely not perfect. So, and I'll kind of show that as I'm going through and get more finished with the car. But day one is done, and so I am going to go take a shower. I really need a shower, and then see if I can get a little bit more done on day two. So let's see how that goes. Alrighty guys, so day 2 in the books. I definitely got nowhere near where I was thinking I was gonna get, but I did learn 2 big things from today. First is I had my heat gun way too hot and pretty much ruined the top portions of my wrap that I did. So it's got blemishes in there. I'm gonna have to redo it, but that's gonna be for another day at this point. I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get this done in 3 days. It's probably gonna take me an extra day or 2, so I'm probably gonna have to go into the work week with a half-wrapped car, which is, you know, it is what it is. But I am figuring out how to improve my technique in regards to laying down the wrap, so I'm feeling a lot more comfortable, especially like this corner right here. I'm actually kind of proud of it. It actually turned out not too bad. So I'm okay with that improvement. So my goal, at least for tomorrow, is to kind of get the other side maybe the same amount, or just kind of finish this side. I'll probably just try to finish this side completely now I think about it, so at least one side kind of looks all right and the other side just, you know, looks haphazard. But in essence, day 2 in the books. I'm gonna go take a shower, get some sleep, and then let's see how far I get in day 3. So alrighty guys, so day 3 in the books. Now got a decent amount done, but definitely not the whole car. And yeah, it's the end of the weekend, so I'm gonna have to drive this half-wrapped kind of deal. So, but that's all right. It was a good learning experience so far, and I am enjoying what I'm doing. It is just taking a lot longer than I expected it to. So something to keep in mind if you're thinking about wrapping your car, especially if you have complex cars like on the C8 Corvette, it is definitely something that you're gonna probably need a lot more time, especially if you're doing a lot of it yourself. Now, I gotta give props to my wife. She started helping me with a lot of the stuff this afternoon especially, and that made it go by a bit quicker. So definitely having that second set of hands is going to make a huge difference on trying to get this kind of job done if you're trying to do it yourself. And for me personally, there's certain parts on here that I'm definitely not happy with. I'm gonna definitely rewrap it, but it is gonna take a little bit more time, and my car is gonna kind of look like a little bit of a Joker car, especially with this really bright freaking green, and then I have all this orange just sticking out randomly in different spots. So I'm just gonna have to endure all the weird looks I'm gonna probably get. But in any case though, so that's day 3. So there'll be a day 4, probably a day 5 and 6, honestly, to get this all done. So we're gonna go to the next day that I can work on this and see how far I can get with this.
always alone. You will always be there. Always alone. You will always be there. Always alone. You will always be there. Always alone.
So alrighty guys, so the wrap on the C8 Corvette is done. So without further ado, So alrighty guys, so we have the final results of the New Horizon C8 2.0 in a dynamic lime green satin finish. And it looks really good. I'm so happy with this color. It really is exactly how I imagined the color would look. It definitely captures all the different lines on the C8 Corvette. Some of the ones especially that are a little bit more subtle than the other ones that are really sharp and defined. And I absolutely love that. I love how it's so much more distinguishable. And it's a, you know, freaking cool color in my opinion. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. So going over this whole entire process, it took me about 50-60 hours to do this, so it was a lot more work than I expected. And I will admit I was extremely naive on thinking I could get it done in a single weekend. It ended up taking me the nights during the week along with part of the weekend afterwards to get it all done and looking half decent. Now the job is not perfect. I will be the first one to tell you, as a newbie doing this for the first time, it is not perfect. There are already spots I already see that are going to need to get redone, and I'm okay with that. I came into this looking at it as an opportunity to learn a new skill set and get myself some practice with doing this, because eventually I'd like to do this kind of thing for a future variant of the C8, whether it's the Z06 or the ZR1. And it kind of comes into some of the things I learned in doing this wrap. For one, if you're an absolute beginner, definitely try to section out, definitely try to work with the lines of the car in regards to any sharp lines and making sections out of bigger pieces instead of trying to do one whole giant piece like the hood area. I initially tried to do that as one giant piece, and well, it was a nightmare to do. That was one of the first pieces I did. But I kind of took the rear hatch and split it up into multiple pieces, like how you saw in the video, and that actually made the job a little bit easier for myself. And then I played with that and did the same thing with the doors on the sharp line that goes across, and I actually sectioned it out into two pieces. Now obviously if you're a professional or you know what you're doing, you have experience with this, you can do some of those pieces in larger, you can do those sections in larger pieces, and it actually is going to look better without having some of that trim lines. But having those sharp lines when you're trying to use cutting tape, which is what I used, actually gets you nice straight lines that you can overlay and you'll barely notice them. So it's a nice little trick, especially as a beginner, that I learned and made the job a lot easier to do. Now if you're curious about this color and want to get it for your ride, it cost me about $700 to get 65 feet by 5 feet, and that pretty much covered the C8 with about 3 major mistakes that I had to do redos. And I didn't show those in the video, mostly because I was just so upset I had to redo them, because because you can imagine I'm spending like an hour and a half on a single piece, and then realize I made a major mistake I'm not going to be able to come back from, and just have to scrap the piece. And so there was just enough to do all the outside. I did have to end up getting more film because I still didn't even have a chance to do the inside the door panels and the engine bay, which still need to get done. And then on top of that, like I said, there's going to be spots that I'm going to have to redo. I'll be honest, there's quite a few pieces that I'm going to have to redo, whether it was because I had the heat gun too hot and it caused blemishes in the actual finish, or I overstretched the material and mess to finish. So those are kind of things that are like growing pains that if you're especially trying to do this by yourself, you're gonna make those mistakes. And I'll be honest, probably doing a vinyl wrap on a C8 Corvette is probably not the smartest thing, because I mean, let's face it, the C8 Corvette has a lot of different curves on it that are a little bit challenging, especially to a complete newbie that had no idea what he was doing other than when he read, other than all the stuff he read on the internet kind of deal. So there was mistakes I was making all over the place. I initially wasn't even glassing the vinyl at the beginning. I look back at it and I'm just like, oh my God, that was a really dumb thing. I was trying to do it in small sections. So if you're watching this video and you're an expert in doing vinyl and stuff like that, please forgive me for being so bad at it, especially at the beginning, and just kind of learning as I was going. But I had a lot of fun doing that. If you're curious about this color and you want to get it for your own ride, I'll have links in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. You can get it from Metro Restyling, which is where I got it from. But if you're just wanting like a smaller batch, you can actually order it from Amazon via Metro Restyling. That's the store on Amazon. But I'll have a link in the description below, as well as some of the common tools that I use to do this job, especially if you're a beginner. It'll help just get you started, get you into it if you're interested to do it for yourself. Things I would definitely do differently: one, definitely having a second set of hands made a huge difference. I had my wife helping me pretty much about halfway through, and that made the biggest difference, especially as a newbie, not knowing how to do it, and just kind of being able to glass properly the vinyl beforehand, stretch it out, get as much of it flat on there, and then squeegeeing out the edges as I'm going through it. That made a huge difference. So definitely props out to my wife for sticking through with me and actually helping just troubleshoot how to figure out some of these spots. Some of these spots were pretty difficult. The front fenders honestly were really difficult because it not only starts flat like this, but then curves into the front hood area, and that was just a challenge for me. That rear bumper was also a challenge, trying to get it all to fit flush. And that brings up another thing. Originally I had planned to take off all the door trim and all that stuff, take off the front bumper, rear bumper. But as I started doing this and quickly realized how long it was gonna take me, I decided not to. And in hindsight, I know I should have just taken those pieces off so that I can do it properly. I saw other professionals do it, specifically on the C8 Corvette, without having to take the trim. So I thought, oh, I can do that. No, that wasn't the case. So keep in mind, the best bet is to try to take off as much of the trim as possible to do these spots properly so you're not having to have little spots peeking out here and there. That is definitely evident on here. On this one, I'm gonna have to go back and redo some of these spots, especially that have a little bit of orange peeking out. It does help if you have a darker car, like a black car. It actually does help hide it quite a bit better than my bright ass orange that is peeking from the bright ass green now. So something to keep in mind if you're doing this, you're definitely gonna want to take out some of these trim pieces as well, so you don't have it sticking out. So certain sections, especially like the hood, have a decent amount of blemishes on that. So actually the hood itself, I'm not gonna redo, but there's a special reason why, and it's because of the next mod that's happening. We're actually gonna be changing out that hood to a new design carbon fiber hood. That's right, so it's a new carbon fiber. I already have the crate. Yes, that's right, it's in a crate this time. In the garage, is ready to go for me to put it on the car, and I'm so excited. So when that video comes out, you'll see it right here. But until then, check out any of my other videos, and we'll see you next time. Take care, guys.